3 years ago, I published a video, Foraging for a Winter Soup, and it has since become one of my most viewed videos with over 26,000 views. At the time of creating that video, I was beginning to think about the challenges of foraging for a hearty meal, especially at a time when it seems as though plants have little to offer. And let's face it, while the soup may have warmed me up, it wasn't the most substantial meal. Since then, I've pondered such questions as what would make a foraged winter meal feel substantial? Which plants would be available to make this? And what would need to be foraged in advance? While there may be some debate as to the nutritional quality of a hearty meal, I concluded that for my own desires, that such a winter meal would need to meet the following criteria. Be both warm and filling, and it would thus contain a source of carbs, fat, and protein. The source of fat and protein will come from black walnuts that I collected this last fall. And as an additional source of protein, I'm going to cheat a little by using our quail eggs. I'm also adding oyster mushrooms as a meat. Technically it was grown in my garden, yet one can still find such mushrooms this time of the year. So with all that said, let's get started. Now look at that. A nice patch of bull thistle. So you can see here closer up the crown of the bull thistle, and I snipped off the base of the taproot and snipped off all the leaves, and the part I want is right here where the leaves meet the taproot. What I'll do after this, when I clean it up, wash the dirt off, and then I'll come back and cut just enough to where there's no more spines, and then that will be cooked in the soup. So I got to collect a few more of these. Thought I'd check out the creek while we're here. Sometimes, I don't know if you can tell, but on these dead alders here, I have found some wild oyster mushrooms here. I don't think I'll see any because I've been checking lately and I haven't seen any, but there is a couple spots where there might be some. We'll go peek real quick. If so, then we don't have to use my garden mushroom. Wait, I think I see something. Hold on. So check that out. They're a little past their prime, but these are the late fall oyster. And the way you can tell is instead of the gills going all the way down the stalk, these ones, they stop here at the stalk, and then the stalk itself has this kind of texture of like a newt skin. And this is edible, but again, these are past the prime, and the thing about these is they're a lot tougher, and so you have to either cook them for a long time or fry them till all the water's out. And they're not choice by my taste, but there's a lot of people who love them. So we'll check another possible spot. So this tree here, this dead alder, was the last spot I was going to check for the wild oysters, but they're all gone at this point, so I'll have to collect some from the garden. But every time I come here, I'm reminded just how beautiful this scenery is. Good news is, I may not have found some mushrooms, but I did find so far I found the crowns of bull thistle as well as some wild onions, and I'm going to go out to the field. I'm going to dig up some wild carrot and some field mustard, and then after that I'm going to wash everything off and we'll get to the cooking process. You want to treat George? Yum. What about you, Paul? As an attempt to make a soup thickener, I'm setting aside some of my carrot and mustard roots. Once chopped, they're placed in the dehydrator, after which they'll be grinded up into a powder. In addition, black walnut meat will also be ground up as part of the thickener. Just 1 cup of black walnut meat contains approximately 52 grams of fat, as well as 12 grams of protein. Sure, cracking and shelling the meat can be time-consuming, but of all the plants in this meal, its nutritional contribution makes it invaluable. See how the quail are doing. Good morning, chickie chicks. Good morning. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera, chickie chicks. I think I see some. Hi, girl. Can I have this one? Thank you. How about this one? Say hi to the camera before I leave. Is that you, Judge June? Thank you for the eggs. So it's true we didn't find any wild oyster mushrooms, but I so happen to have some growing. There's one in particular that I want to harvest. This granddaddy right here. Well, it's been 2 days in the making, and this hearty winter meal is finally ready to eat. But the question remains, how does it taste? We'll get to that, but first, this quick commercial break. If you enjoy my content so much and wish to help support this foraging passion of mine, please consider purchasing a copy of my book, featuring 26 of the most common and easy to identify edible plants of the Pacific Northwest. Its convenient size and easy to use format make this pocket-sized field guide the perfect forager's reference to use in all your foraging adventures. To purchase a copy of your own, or as a gift for a friend, please follow the link to my Etsy shop down in the description below. Thank you very much, and happy foraging! The moment you all been waiting for. My hearty winter soup. This covers all the bases. It covers the carbs I was looking for, it covers the fat, and it covers the protein. So, the question is though, how does it taste? That's pretty good. You get the creaminess of the ground walnut, and you get the umami flavor of the ground oyster powder as well as the ground up root. This is pretty good. Let's try a piece of the bull thistle crown. Oh, I can't. I gotta try another one. That's hard to explain. It's really good. The flavor is better than you would think. I think what I'm getting is the nuttiness of the crown, the taproot of the bull thistle, but then I'm getting the umami of the mushroom, and they're complementing each other really well. And it's very, very solid. It's cooked well, but it still has a crunch. Okay, right here I have a little quail egg yolk. Very creamy, just like chicken egg yolk, but I think this is creamier. Okay, I'm gonna get a piece of the carrot root. Okay, wild carrot root. Yep. Just like carrot. Exactly what you'd expect, cooked carrot in a stew. I'm really impressed. In fact, I'm not only impressed, but I'm really hungry because I've been spending the past few hours putting this together, but I'm going to get some of this oyster mushroom. Very clean, subtle mushroom flavor. It's not as strong as maybe some of the button mushrooms you get, but it really does a good job of taking on different flavors, and I think it took on some of the ground walnut. I think it's absorbing some of that oil because it has a very creamy, good mushroom flavor. The main question is this a hearty soup that's going to keep me feeling full? So I'm going to finish this, and I'll let you know how I'm feeling, whether I'm full or not. Is this a hearty meal? This is a hearty, like 5 meals. And I don't know why I made so much. That huge mushroom, it's just very filling. I have that much left. I don't know what I was thinking. I made a meal for 4 or 5 people. I think ideally you would just have some bread and a small bowl of soup like a regular person. Of course, I had to challenge myself to try to get full on this. I would say to conclude, the flavors go really well if you're looking for something that is not bitter, especially in the wintertime. Both thistle is never bitter, or at least it's never been bitter for me. The carrots are almost always pretty good. Field mustard, it's hit and miss, sometimes it's bitter. Same thing with the onions. Usually they're pretty savory, sometimes they can be a little bitter. But in this case, everything went really well. I think the two things I would say for future reference that went really well together, that creates a very rich soup, is the ground walnut and the oyster mushrooms. A person could probably make a soup with just those two things alone, and it'd be satisfying. Everything else is just fiber and filler, and of course the eggs were another hit of protein, but I think I might have to do another soup, a third soup video, but with just those two things. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you have any good ideas for a foraged soup? Thank you for those who do comment, and all the likes I get. Thank you for all the likes, and thank you for the many views on my channel. And here I am over, 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers, which is crazy since I haven't posted a video in over a year or two. Please hit that like if you did, and subscribe if you want to see more, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, happy foraging. One more taste. Time to go.